and now back with us on Zoom after winning the John Belos Award for Outstanding Female Athlete Achievements at Binghamton University. I cannot say enough about Denai, and I'm always happy to have her on the show. She's picture in picture with us. Miss Bowman, how are we doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And Denai, I mean, we look back on your history at Binghamton, and it is vast. There is so many wonderful achievements. You stood up and made a speech yesterday and, had the opportunity to win this incredible award and then stand up on the stage and speak with your fellow student athletes and the community about what matters to you. Bring me into that speech and what you really wanted to focus on in your message.
Yeah, so the purpose of the speech was just to really highlight the significance of having a why. I think that's what's gotten me through these last 5 years of Binghamton. Just striving for that purpose as an athlete and just as a human overall. It allowed me to take out all the distractions in my life and just focus on why I'm really here. And then I think the speech is, it really spoke volume onto my why. Because what I had said in the speech, I always want to be a greater version of myself. So I know that I struggle with public speaking. I don't like it. But since my purpose was higher, since I knew what my why was, it allowed me to do the speech and accomplish that in my life.
And like you said, focusing on your why helped to take the distractions out of your life, helped you to focus. How soon in your life did you realize your why and start to take those distractions out?
So I definitely think it changed throughout my years here. But the current why, I think I realized it my junior year. That's when everything just started to click for me and everything started flowing. And my junior year is definitely the year that I figured out my why and started pushing towards that.
So how would you describe your why? What it is, like you said, it's evolved over time. It's what it is today coming in your junior year. How would you describe what it is now?
So how I would describe it is I always, as I just mentioned, I want to be a greater version of myself. So I push to be the future me.
Yeah.
So when I think about my why, I'm thinking about what do I want to look like in the next 5 years? What is the type of person I want to be? So I strive myself, I push myself every day to be that person, and that just helps me focus on the person I am now. So it gives me a deeper drive. And then when I become that person, I think about the next 5 years and where I want to be and who I want to be, and continue pushing myself to that limit. So my why remains me, the future version of myself.
And I love that, always striving forward, always looking for what is going to come next for you, to appreciate the moment and at the same time to be building toward the future. How do you balance that? How do you balance taking the time to stop and appreciate where you're at, and at the same time to remain focused on the task at hand, on your desires and your hopes and your dreams for the future? How do you look to the future while also appreciating the present?
That I think that's the most difficult thing. I think I always in my younger years as a freshman and sophomore, I think I've always wanted to be greater and do more and be better in every type of way, but I never sat back and realized wow, I've actually already accomplished a lot in my life. So I think definitely with the help of our associate head coach Coach Newman, and just the help of everybody around me, they kept telling me and kept reminding me to enjoy what you have done and appreciate all the things you have done, but still be able to push yourself to new levels. So definitely just with time, I think I've learned to appreciate the moment, but also to look forward to the future.
I'm going to read off when you got honored as the outstanding female athlete award here for what you've done. There are so many things to look at in your vast career. If anybody goes to bubearcats.com, clicks on your profile, there's so much information that we can look at and we can stop on. Looking at your career highs: points 27 against Lehigh, field goals 12 against Lehigh, field goal attempts 24 against Lehigh, 3-point field goals, which is against them, 16 points and 11 rebounds against NJIT on February 1st. And typically in the America East tournament, the all-tournament team goes to the winning team and the runner-up, but there was a push by David O'Brien and Binghamton for you to get on that all-tournament team and for them to really take a look at that. And so you made some history there being part of the all-tournament team despite not playing in the championship game. So I'm reading off some highs. I'm reading off just this year alone. There is a list of, I mean, if this was a receipt, it would look like you spent $500 at the grocery store. There's a lot of stuff going on in this. And just what you can say, Denai, when you're honored for your outstanding achievements as a female student athlete at Binghamton, and there are so many of them, what do you think about? What do you spotlight? What do you reflect on when there are so many reasons why Binghamton has obviously shown that they made the right choice bringing you in?
It's funny because I was just walking around the arena and just thinking about like all the stuff that I have accomplished, and what I think about each time I like hear those accomplishments is just like the work that I put in to get those accomplishments. I think I worked like endless hours with our associate coach, Coach Newman. We're just working on our game, working on spots that I can score in, defensive things, and just grinding out like endless hours of basketball, film, everything you could think of. So like I think every like award that I get, every highlight that's made of me, I just think back to all the things I did before that even happened to get to where I'm at today.
And like you said, you're walking around the arena just thinking about all this. What is that arena meant to you? What is home meant to you? I mean, I love it. I think it's a beautiful arena. I think it's one of the gems of Central and Upstate New York. I think it's honestly, I think it's an absolute steal to have that, in Binghamton. And at the same time, I mean, I grew up in Syracuse, and to have that be an hour away, every time I go into that arena, and I've seen arenas all over the country, that one sticks out to me that I tell people every single time. I'm like, do you know what you have in Binghamton? Do you know like how good of an arena that you have, not just for basketball, but for like events in general, that you can have right here as a crown jewel of the Southern Tier? When you're walking around that arena and you were thinking, like you said today before you came on the show, about your accomplishments and your achievements, what has that arena meant to you, and what's it been like to call that home?
It's meant so much to me. As I was around, I was like getting a little sentimental and all that. But yeah, no, it's like as soon as I think my first time on campus, as soon as I like looked at that arena from the highest elevation, it just felt like home. Like it felt like I needed to be here. And then from the past 5 years, it has never stopped feeling like that. Every time before a game, I'd always just look down and just be like, this is where I'm supposed to be. It's just meant so much to me. And all the work that was put in on the floor, like the fans that come out in the arena, like all of it's in my head. Like every memory that I've made has been a great one, and I'm just so thankful that it got to be in the Binghamton arena.
And like you said, I mean, it means the world to you. It means so much to you. Bearcat Breakroom here, centering on the career of Denai Bowman, Binghamton Bearcats women's basketball student athlete, speaking on her journey in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Bearcats. Why did you choose Binghamton? When we go back all the way to the beginning, and you got obviously extra time there due to the COVID year, so you got that bonus opportunity. And by the way, in your freshman season, you appeared in 31 games. I mean, you have been a huge piece of this Bearcat basketball team forever, since the beginning of your beginning. So why Binghamton? What was it that just spoke to you the first opportunity that you had to say yes? Because you've continued to say yes. You didn't transfer out. You stayed that extra time with the COVID year, working on an MBA. So you've continuously chose Binghamton, but why did you do it the first time?
So I would say, like, I drove up here. One, I'm a sucker for like scenic things. So the leaves, everything was beautiful. So that was a piece of it, the scenery. And then once I actually met the team and we got to spend time together, like something in me just said, this is the place. Like the team, like made this feel like home. Yes, the arena did, but the team like sealed the deal. So they just felt like an instant family. And of course, like the coaching staff, they made it a whole lot easier. Like them just recruiting me, it showed like they showed a lot of attention, more attention that other schools weren't showing. So that just made the decision a lot easier. And then that was the beginning. Then once I started like getting out in the community and actually seeing people that know me, like they made it just feel right. It made me just want to continue staying and playing for the school.
You go back to that coaching staff, Beth Ann Shapiro-Ord, your head coach, and there's been a change now to Mary Grimes, and as they step forward here, what can you say reflecting on your time with Beth Ann? Because I'm sure you know this, but she sang your praises to. I've known Beth Ann for many years. She sang your praises. I think you're the first student athlete's name that came off her lips to me. It has always been her love for the team, her passion for the team, her appreciation for the team, and the words Denai Bowman were a part of so many conversations with Beth Ann. What does she mean to you, and what will she always mean to you?
Yeah, no, she means a lot. Like I think it's so funny when I think back to like my recruiting process. Like she was always calling me up like nonstop. I didn't think it was normal, but once like I've gotten to know her, like it's normal for her.
Yeah.
But like that's a part of it. Like that's building that relationship, and I think she definitely did that. So she's done so much for me. I would say like she's a big reason why I got up on that stage and said that speech, because since my freshman year, she's motivated me to lead in different ways. I like to lead by example, but she challenged me to speak out and share my opinion when I need to. So like stepping outside my comfort zone came a lot from her. So I would thank her each and every time about that.
You know, like you said, stepping out of your comfort zone and being a part of getting up there and doing public speaking, which you said is something that has been a challenge for you. What's your I mean, obviously you'll keep in touch with her, but what's your lasting kind of most appreciative moment with Beth Ann?
Most appreciative moment. There's been so many. Honestly, I would just say, like, I think when I was injured for, like, quite some time earlier this season, her just, like, continuing to just check up on me, see how I was doing, and just, again, pushing me to continue to lead. Like, I think it's easy when players are injured, they just stay in themselves and, like, focus on getting better instead of, like, continuing to step up and lead off the court. So I think just pushing me in that way when I was hurt to continue to be a leader as I see fit to my teammates.
And it's easy, I think, and we talk about your career. When a player's injured, sometimes to certain coaches you're not valued, right? You're not out there. I've seen schools that, and places and teams in general, where if you're not right in front of them in that moment helping them, you don't have value. There's some schools where when you're playing, you have value, and then when you're an alum, they're like, ah, well, you're not getting us wins anymore, so we don't really care about having you back. And then there's other schools that are complete opposite. When you go to a school where you're injured and you're important, you're healthy and you're important, you have a 20-point game and you're important, you have a 3-point game and you're important. For Binghamton, for the coaching staff, for the administration, for your teammates, the fact that you were always important, no matter what you did that day, and if you were healthy or if you were, obviously not playing due to injury and whatnot, what has that meant to you, that the value of Denai Bowman doesn't go down in Binghamton depending on how you play or if you're available?
Yeah, no, I think it just made my decision to stay here 10 times easier because they've shown me that from the jump. And then from Coach Ord to our new AD, Eugene Marshall, to all the other administration. When I was injured, they were continuously checking up on me, just asking how I was and asking how I was doing. So that meant a lot to me personally. And then just, of course, doing what I do on the basketball court, singing my praises. Then it's constant and so consistent that it just makes everything more memorable. Even to this day, I still communicate with all our coaching staff, and they're keeping up with what I'm doing next in my life, along with the administration. Eugene is constantly telling me to keep him in the loop with everything that's going on. So no, I appreciate them so much.
Denai Bowman here in this Bearcat Breakroom special, spotlighting her career and her time at Binghamton University. You mentioned Gene Marshall, the athletics director, and there's a nice picture. By the way, and I always wonder about this because I think about this a lot. What shirt am I wearing for the show? We're doing a box break around the conversation. We're talking NFL draft, so I'm wearing, my Panini Player of the Day. When I get up in the morning, I have to think about what I'm wearing, why I'm wearing it, the purpose of it. So there's obviously some awesome pictures from last night. I'd love to get your thoughts on Gene Marshall, the athletics director, and what he's meant to you. I also want to know why you chose the dress code that you chose, and do you think about what you're going to wear every day as much as I do?
No, Gene has been so great since the moment he got here. I was just thinking about this during the awards banquet yesterday. I think he's really brought a different type of light to Binghamton athletics. I think he's pushing not only the athletes but the coaches to really truly win and want to win for each other and for the program. He's just been great. He's so supportive. We crack jokes with each other all the time. So I definitely think our relationship can continue to grow. But in regards to dress code, I definitely did have a lot of thoughts about what I wanted to wear. I know I wanted to have something comfortable on because this is my first time speaking in front of that many people, so I didn't want anything with pockets. So when I get nervous, I put my hands in my pockets. So I wanted that, and then I just wanted something to kind of pop. And then I think the white and green that I did wear it. I didn't want to wear white and green because I thought it was a bit cliche because we're white and green for Binghamton. But at the end of the day, it kind of went nice with what I was saying. So it worked out.
You thought about it obviously for last night, and the pockets thing I think is a cool little accent to the conversation. But do you think about it in general? Do you have to make sure that because I'm thinking, did I wear this T-shirt within the last couple of days? Did I wait? And the thing is, I'm on the air at least 5 days a week, so you're seeing the shirt that I'm wearing. So do you think about that when you're out on campus in Binghamton or you're out doing your thing? Do you have a certain style and emphasis on certain things, or is it just kind of hey, I'm going to wear what I want to wear. I'm not thinking about it. Like, I'm just going out, going to class. How much thought do you put into it? Because I'm really being honest here, Danae, and sharing with people how much t-shirt thought I have in the morning.
It's hilarious. It's kind of a little bit of both. Like, I think about what I'm going to wear, but at the same time, I don't care that much. So I guess my style is like a simple like hoodie or jacket with sweatpants and possibly Crocs or tennis shoes. So, and then I like to color coordinate. I talk with my teammate Jaden about it all the time. Like, I love my jacket. My jacket has to match my shoes, so it's like a sandwich. So, if I have on a black jacket, I have to have on like some type of black shoes or black shoes in it. That's always like my go-to. But other than that, like if I have like, I know like I think about like, wait, did I already wear these sweatpants this week? Because I don't want to like seem like I'm wearing the same clothes all the time. But like, no, I mean sometimes it does just work out like that because I want to pair it with something else. But no one notices, or if they do, they don't tell me. But some thought goes into it, but not that much.
Yeah. Well, see, I mean, that, and it's the first time I've had the conversation about any of that in 20 years of broadcasting, but it does, see, your thought process, my thought, very similar, right? And then you, like you said, if I'm wearing the same shirt, like nobody says anything, but like you wash your clothes, there's just certain stuff that you like, but I'm very much like you in the sense, and I appreciate the sandwich. I definitely appreciate if I got this on top, I got to have the shoes have to match what I'm doing here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so so before we get into rapid fire, Danae, a new coach hired, somebody I know very well. The entire time that she was a head coach at Lemoyne, I was around Mary Grimes. I met her the day that she was brought in as the head coach. So Mary Grimes coming down to Binghamton. She was at the event with you all last night and took some pictures with the basketball team. What are your thoughts on Mary? I know you're finishing your time at Binghamton, but what do you think this next chapter could be from your time with Mary Grimes, and have you had some time to sit and talk with her?
So I haven't had like a one-on-one sit down with her, but we've shared like a few conversations. And no, I think she's gonna do great things here. I think she's gonna push the girls to new heights and allow them to achieve great things. So I'm excited to see what she does. When I went to her press conference, I loved what she had to say. Um, she seems like a very personable coach, and she wants to win. So that's always two great things. But no, I'm excited to watch and see what she does for the program.
Yeah, and it's definitely something exciting. That, I mean, it's bittersweet because I'm happy for Mary being there. Obviously, I have a ton of respect for Beth Ann, but the thing that's sad for me is we don't get to see you again. We don't get to see another year of Denai Bowman with more records to be set and more, opportunities to be had. Has that hit you yet, Denai? Because, my connection to Binghamton and to the student athletes in not just the women's basketball world, but in general, that connection started with people like yourself. So I associate Binghamton with you. Has it hit you that you're not going to be there? Do you want a job in broadcasting so that I can bring you from my ends and you can interview the basketball team? Like, how do we keep Denai around? So has it hit you yet?
So until yesterday, when I won the award, it didn't hit me. Like, I think once they called my name for the award, and then I think it was Dave Simic doing like the voiceover. Once he like said like all my accolades and like the highlight video was shown, I'm like, wow, like I'm actually done. Like, there's like no more year, there's no extra year left. Nothing can really happen for me to continue to stay. So it's like I think I'm starting to feel like the emotions that I haven't felt yet. Like, it's like I'm ready to move on, but it just feels unreal that I am moving on, if that makes sense. But no, it is definitely starting to hit me, but it's great. I'm glad for what I was able to do here at Binghamton. But of course, like if I could play more, I would, but it isn't possible.
So what's next? Where, we talk about building toward the future and knowing your why and becoming, the future version of yourself. And then once you become that, keeping going. So what's next?
So what's next is overseas. I'm going to continue playing. I don't have a team yet, but that should be in the works in a few months. So those are my next plans. And then if the opportunity does present itself, I would love to come and broadcast with you to just see that aspect. I would love to interview some of these basketball players to get their takes on things.
Yeah, well, listen, keep in touch. You and I will keep in touch. So, I'll be able to know which team you're going to overseas. But absolutely, I can bring you on this side of the mic and give you an opportunity to do that. It'd be my honor, Denai, because you have done so much, and you and your teammates have done an incredible job. I don't think the win-loss record shows what you guys have worked toward at Binghamton, so it's a yes from me that you could come on this side of the coin and broadcast, and I look forward to hearing from you and where you're going to be overseas, because whatever team gets you is not just getting a basketball player, right? They're getting a leader, they're getting a strong mind and a good person and a dedicated worker. So I'm looking forward to it for sure. And I'm looking forward to sitting back and getting to drink some water and take a little break while you interview some of these student athletes. That'd be fun for me.
Yeah, it'll be a blast, for sure.
So let's play rapid fire. We've done it before. You get the first question. We're going to go back and forth for a couple here. What do you got for me?
All right. If you could visit one place, where and with who?
I just had this conversation yesterday with my dad. So if I could visit one place, I want to go back and see my family in Spain and Italy. I say go back like that's where my family's at. I've never been. But I would like to go to Italy and Spain and see family. I do talk to my family from Spain. I have to look up and see who's in Italy. But I want to go with my dad and my mom. My parents aren't together. My mom does not want to go overseas. My dad does want to go overseas. And so I cover the Jaguars, and they play every year in London. And so I've had that thought of, like, if I'm going to go to their game in London, I would just extend my trip and use London as an excuse to go to Spain and Italy. So, like, go cover the game and then run around Italy and Spain for a bit. But yeah, I mean, I would want to take my parents. So, and honestly, I would love to take my dog Lily, because she's just the best. So I'd love to put and this is the thing, and people think this when they don't like know me that well. They're like, your dog wears t-shirts and jerseys, like you're that guy. I did not pick that. She decided that that's what she wanted to do. Like, she was exposed to the opportunity of wearing it, and now she will select her clothes, and she doesn't wear them all the time, but she likes wearing the shirts. She likes rocking the stuff. So I could see her little beret, little Italian shirt flag, little Spain love. But yeah, I'd like to bring Lily, honestly, because I don't even call her my sidekick. I don't think there's any better co-pilot of travel than my dog Lily. So I'd have to say that.
Yeah, no, that's great. Sorry, my teammates just walked in.
Okay.
But no, yeah, that's amazing. It's so funny to hear that she picks out her shirts.
She does. So my question to you here, Denai. If you had to eat one food for the rest of your life every single day, what food could you never get sick of?
I swear like 3 people have asked me this question in the last month. One food. I think it would be, I'm kind of going to do like a category, so pizza.
Okay.
But not just like one like flavor. Like, I hope like I could do like pizza, but just like different types of pizza. So like the breakfast pizza, do some different cheese. Like, I like a good Hawaiian pizza, so I'll go with that.
That is actually my answer when people ask, because you can do different things to it. So you actually gave the correct answer, Denai. What's your last one for me?
Okay, I'm gonna challenge you a bit.
Okay.
Out of all the games in my last 5 years, which one was your favorite?
It has to be. I think it's when y'all played Navy.
Navy. When we played Navy home?
Yeah, it was home.
Okay, 2 years ago.
So I would have to say that game because there was that. So that was a game that, like, at times it was like, is Binghamton going to be out of it? And then you guys fought back, and then you had a shot on the baseline, and from where I was sitting, it was in front of me. So I think that, like, that's the game. It was actually, while we were talking this morning, that's the game I was thinking about. It was that game because it might have been the first. That might have been, was that the first game that I saw in Binghamton? But it might be that game because of being physically there, seeing the team fight back, and then seeing just the way that you played, and like hearing about you, but then watching you play, and then going, holy crap, like, she really is all that they're talking about and more. So I'd probably have to say that game because you balled out in that, and I just remember like there was a baseline move, there was somebody fronting you there. I think you spun off of them, but it just, that sticks to me, that, and it was on the right side of the basket, that I go back to that game, and I go back to saying, like, Denai really is all of these things that I've been told she is. So I probably have to pick that game.
That is honestly a good game. I think that's one of my favorite games too. I don't remember the shot. I think all I remember from that game was like a few seconds left, and like they got it to their best player, of course, and I was guarding her. And then like she tried to make this backdoor pass, and I like stole it. That's like the one thing I remember from that game. But no, that was a game. That's a good pick. That's the right answer too.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, my last question for you, Denai. Okay, you know what? It's an election year, and I think about. I know that people might think I'm kidding, but I'm not. I was like, I've said since I was a little kid, I was like, I'm going to run for president. Not because I want any accolades, but because I'm just sick and tired of the fact that I don't think any side is working for all sides. So if you were running for the president of the United States this year, please do it today. but if you were running, please God. So like, but if you were running for president this year, who of everyone you know in your life would be your vice president? And what, you talk about public speaking, what's the first thing besides my fellow Americans that you would say when you won?
I think that's the hardest question I ever got in my life. My vice president. You may know him. I think MON-FRI on the men's basketball team.
Okay.
Will be a great vice president.
Why?
He's very good at, he has a passion, like, when he talks. So, like, when he talks, it makes you want to listen. So it's like, he could be saying, like, all the wrong things, but you think he's right just because of his confidence. So I think, like, that's a great trait to have. And he's good with people. So
Okay.
That's always good as that high of a role. And then what I would say, I don't know. I'm like so like not into like heavy into politics.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I would say. I'd just probably be like, wow, I really did this. But no, I'd have no clue.
I would, well, and like you said, you think about it, and I'm not a political person. I'm more of, I want to help the world person. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like I'd stand up there and go, whatever y'all have seen is done. So, like, whatever we have had is over. And now it's time to do some better thing. I would probably say it's time to simplify this country, and it's time to show that the foundation of this country needs to be built together, because a house divided cannot stand. And it's time to show that we all really want the same things, and to stop grouping people into places, and to start showing that together we can accomplish anything. And if we truly want to build toward the sky, you cannot do that with each piece building something different at the same time.
I approve that message. That I would definitely vote for you. You have my vote. So I expect to see your name in the election on the next ballot.
You can write it in, Denai. You can always write it in too. Denai Bowman here with us on Wake Up Call in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, the Bearcat Breakroom, focusing on her successes at Binghamton University with the Bearcats women's basketball team, winning the John Belos Award for the outstanding female athlete in her achievements in her career. Denai, I know that this is one of many conversations we will have. You owe me a broadcast, and then I owe making sure that I can release that announcement whenever we figure out where you're going to be playing. So we will keep in touch, but truly, as you know, I'm the same on and off the air. Thank you for everything you've done for Binghamton. Thank you for all the work that you've done in the classroom and on the court. And thank you for giving me time. You've always been extremely humble and very gracious with your time. So I can honestly tell you what I've told you before, that if Denai Bowman is not in the Hall of Fame in Binghamton, then what is the Hall of Fame? So I expect to see your name in the Hall of Fame, and I look forward to having many conversations coming up, because I know you're going to do big things out there.
Thank you for having me. It's always great talking to you. You're a blast. Can't wait to see what we can do in the future.
Absolutely. Denai Bowman, your winner for outstanding female achievements and outstanding achievements in general. Denai, have a fantastic day. We'll talk with you soon.
Thank you, too.
Take care. Thanks.